on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you struggle finding a t-shirt that fits, as well as the one t-shirt that you have in your wardrobe that you love until it finally wore out? Do you wish that standard medium was just a little bit longer? Or for me, that extra large didn't have to be a 2X to get the length? Guess what? We got this taken care of, and you've got to check out Coulter Dillon. They've mastered the perfect fit. They've added fabric color options and personalized artwork to deliver the perfect fitting t-shirt. Forget those pre-done t-shirts that every size doesn't fit anyone. They have custom fitted t-shirts today, and you can save 50% off. That's right, 50% off by using our Tech Time Radio code. Use the code TECH50 at coulterdillon.com to get this special offer. And that's COLTERDILLON.com to get the perfect fitted t-shirt. Make sure to use that code TECH50, that's TECH 50, for 50% off your first order.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the common everyday person, talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a bit of whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com, or you can even go on to Twitter. We're going to be talking about Twitter a little bit today with one of our top stories, and you can hashtag us at hashtag TechTimeRadio during the show, and we'll do our best to respond to that question immediately. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of expertise working for companies like Microsoft and Vulcan Inc., and a keynote speaker on technology subjects from cybersecurity to blockchain and everything in between. My co-host here, Mike Corday, is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. He's a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology with 20-plus years of career helping others understand human behavior so they can make, of course, better decisions. Mike keeps me from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends that come from different backgrounds but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. All right, now welcome everybody. Let's get ready to start today's show.
Now on today's show.
Today on the show, do you know your internet footprint and why your ID tag is essential on the internet? We're going to be covering that whole subject.
An ID tag?
Well, yeah,
so an ID tag?
That's what they call it when your footprint has been sold to certain individual companies. We're going to be talking about how many companies a little bit later regarding information that you have on the internet. We're also going to be talking about Elon Musk now, as he's serving on the board of Twitter. There's been lots of stuff going on regarding his Twitter shares, and now we found out this morning that essentially it's because...
Didn't he bag on Twitter quite a bit?
We're going to talk about that. Trust me, we're going to talk about that. We also have some hackers breaching MailChimp's internal tools and targeted specifically crypto customers, a specific customer. I got that, blah, 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 blah.
I think so.
Specific customer, we're going to be talking about that. And then Amazon workers on Staten Island voted for a union in a stunning victory that upsets Amazon's leadership structure.
No way.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And then, of course, in addition, we have an exciting game today. We're going to play Two Truths and a Lie. For our radio audience that has not heard that before, this is an interesting deal where we're going to have Mike Odie and a guest in studio today are going to participate in that event. So you want to stay through. That's our last segment, and that will be absolutely hilarious, so don't miss that. And, of course, then we have our This Week in Technology, Mike's mesmerizing moment, and, of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to start our show with our loaded question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike and Odie, here's your loaded question. What is your favorite letter of the alphabet, and why?
That's a bad question.
What was that? It's your favorite letter in the alphabet. That should be really simple to do.
Yeah, F.
F?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what my second favorite letter is?
What is that?
U.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think I only heard that in like preschool games. Okay. All right. So your favorite letter is F, huh?
Why not?
Okay. You got football.
You know, these are things I never.
You got Franks.
Who thinks about that?
This is a loaded question. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to make you think.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like.
What's that?
I don't think anybody is ever in my entire life. Hey, what's your favorite letter?
My favorite letter is L. For love.
Oh, my God.
For lame.
That's right, for lame. Thank
All right,
you.
Odie, the question is to you. What's your favorite letter of the alphabet and why?
I'm just going to go with O for One Direction.
One Direction.
Yeah,
Oh.
that boy band.
Is it, you like that boy band?
Oh, yeah, I love them.
Okay, One Direction.
Yeah.
That's just.
This
Should
be
be the ridiculous question.
For
of the day.
ostrich. For
Ostrich.
octopus.
Octopus.
For octagon.
Octagon. There you go. There's lots of
For
good.
Period.
obsequious.
Okay, here we go. All right, well, that was our loaded question. Remember, if you need your Elderberry Boost, just visit elderberry-boost.com, and you can get all of your Elderberry Boost items for you right then and there. All right, Mike, as always, we have our whiskey tasting that we're going to have during our commercials to see if you selected whiskey. If it gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up for our pick of the day, make sure you listen all the way through to pick up on a few interesting facts that I guarantee you today will make you go, Now on to our first segment, bringing you the top technology stories everyone will be talking about for weeks to come within the first 5 minutes of the show. Let's start our next segment.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1. Elon Musk was appointed to the Twitter board of directors after becoming the company's largest shareholder. On Tuesday, April 5th, 2022, Elon Musk announced that he joined Twitter's board of directors via social media. The move comes days after the news broke that Musk took almost 9.2% stake of the company in stock purchases. There were some concerns at the announcement as speculation was brewing that Musk was trying to bolster stock prices for a quick sell on investments has now been squashed. According to a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commissions, Twitter confirmed the appointment of Tesla CEO Elon Musk to its board of directors. Through conversations with Elon in recent weeks, it's become clear to us that we would bring a great value to our board. Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal said in a tweet. Musk, meanwhile, said that he is looking forward to working with Parag and Twitter's board to make significant improvements to Twitter in the coming months. Musk is joining the board after disclosing a 9.2% stake in the social media company earlier this week. The investment made him Twitter's largest shareholder virtually overnight. Twitter detailed the terms of Musk's appointment to the board of regulatory filings. Musk is a longtime Twitter user, where he often is used on the accounts to share memes, Tesla news, crude jokes, and even criticizes Twitter itself. He has landed many times in hot water for his tweets that he's done. Last week, for instance, Musk said, given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square, failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. So what should be done? When one follower asked if Musk would ever create his own social media platform, he said he was giving serious thought to the concept.
Isn't that what he's doing with Twitter?
So I think that, you know what, he really likes Twitter. I'm sure that he messed around many times with creating his own application. But instead of that, I think since Jack Dorsey stepped down, he's been very critical of the application itself. And so I think somebody probably challenged him and said, put your money where your mouth is. If you think you can make it better, come and be a part of the board. And bingo, there he goes. Now he's a part of the board.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. I think you got story number 2, Mike.
Yeah, so apparently this story was sent to us by a listener this morning.
Yes, that's correct.
Steve, we thank you for submitting this, as this directly affected our own Tech Time Radio newsletter, didn't it, Nathan?
It did. We're going to now change our newsletter format to another application because we have this application as our newsletter format that we will not be doing any longer. There you go.
Yeah,
And here's why.
Email marketing firm MailChimp disclosed on Sunday that they had been hit by hackers who gained access to internal customer support and account management tools to steal audience data and conduct phishing attacks. Sunday morning, Twitter was abuzz with reports from owners of Trezor. Is that the way?
Yeah, Trezor.
Trezor hardware cryptocurrency wallets who received phishing notifications claiming that the company suffered a data breach. These emails prompted Trezor customers to reset their hardware wallet pins by downloading malicious software that allowed stealing the stored cryptocurrency. Trezor later shared that MailChimp had been compromised by threat actors targeting the cryptocurrency industry who conducted the phishing attack. MailChimp has confirmed that the breach was more significant than just Trezor's account being accessed by threat actors. According to MailChimp, some of their employees fell for a social engineering attack that led to the theft of their credentials. Basically, what that means is what I talked about in the newsletter.
Yep.
Is that they were able to take advantage of human psychology, and they got in there.
They got into their employees itself too. Their core employees in the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably need some training.
I'm curious to know what form that took. I mean, because we talk about this when we do our letter segment and stuff like that. So this is.
I don't know. They don't disclose the social engineering.
No, they're not going to tell us what. No. But it would be interesting to find out.
It would be.
The CISO released a statement that said on March 26, our security team became aware of a malicious actor accessing one of our internal tools used by customer-facing teams for customer support and account administration. The incident was propagated by an external actor who conducted a successful social engineering attack on MailChimp employees, resulting in employee credentials being compromised. These credentials were then used to access 319 MailChimp accounts and to export audience data, likely mailing lists, from 102 customer accounts. All the compromised account holders have been notified, and that the threat actors access customers in the cryptocurrency and finance sectors.
So do you actually have the letter there?
I have a letter that Trezor released.
So this is essentially what happened is people sent into Trezor's account. So Trezor had MailChimp as their main provider, and so they actually sent this out on behalf of Trezor, not Trezor even knowing it, to all these people for crypto accounts.
This is the phishing.
Yeah, so this is a phishing email that came from their official account that was on MailChimp. So let's just think of if you're a cryptocurrency user and your company decided to send you an email saying what this has in here, you probably would act. And what happened is when people acted, their accounts lost all of their cryptocurrencies. Do you want to read that letter here just real briefly?
Yeah. Okay. So it's, dear customer, we regret to inform you that Trezor has experienced a security incident involving data belonging to 106,856 of our customers, and that the wallet associated with your email address, blacked out, is within those affected by the breach. Namely, on Saturday, April 2nd, 2022, our security team discovered that one of the Trezor Suite administrative servers had been accessed by an unauthorized malicious actor. At this moment, it's technically impossible to accurately assess the scope of the data breach due to these circumstances. If you've recently accessed your wallet using Trezor Suite, we must assume that your cryptocurrency assets are at risk of being stolen. In the spirit of transparency, we wanted to make our customers aware of this incident before malicious actors could utilize this information to their detriment. We felt time was of the essence, and we are expediently working through our investigation. If you're receiving this email, it's because you have been affected by the breach. In order to protect your assets, please download the latest version of Trezor Suite and follow the instructions to set up a new PIN for your wallet. Sincerely, Trezor.
So as soon as you download, it looks legit.
Legit. The grammar is good, and it's interesting, or should I say ironic, that they use the actual hacking. They said, hey,
we were hacked. So we want you to change, and we want you to download the software. And when you download
the one that hacked you.
Yes. So when you download the software, essentially it took over the computer so that an actor could actually see what was on the screen. It opened up the ability to do a screen share so they could see everything that was going on in. And then when you typed in your PIN, essentially it didn't work correctly, so it said, please call our 1-800 number since we're having problems accessing your PIN. As soon as you did that, you would get the bad actor on the line, the criminals, and they would then watch your screen and take your cryptocurrency out.
So is there any way that somebody would know not to ignore this?
No. I mean, this absolutely looks legit, doesn't it?
It looks completely legit.
And it comes from their account. So MailChimp, so this is a big deal right now.
Yeah.
So who's liable for this? Because people lost millions of dollars in cryptocurrency because of that. Is it Trezor that's liable? Is it MailChimp that's liable? Or are these people just out money themselves? It's yet to be known. So there's going to be some big legal ramifications to see what happens. Now, let me just tell you, I've always said there's one place to buy cryptocurrency. And where is that? Coinbase. Right? Don't go anyplace else. Any other firm that you have out there, there could be problems. Stick with Coinbase. Coinbase has got.
We also talk about having your cryptocurrency on a wallet,
not on a
hard drive.
Correct, and make sure you have it on your own wallet itself. But that's another whole story to go through. And story number 3, real quick, I got here. In a stunning victory, Amazon workers on Staten Island vote for a union. Amazon workers at the warehouse in Staten Island, New York, have voted to unionize, a first for Amazon, and a stunning win for a grassroots campaign led by former and current Amazon employees. This is very interesting. Essentially, the historical vote was 2,654 for union and 2,131 against.
So
this has been done by a rogue employee that was fired, Christian Smalls. We talked about him over a year ago for being fired and having problems with it. He essentially created a union, an independent union, and he has now convinced people in New York, Staten Island, essentially where he worked previously, to be a part of this union. That's
right. I remember this.
This is a huge ripple effect here. Christian Smalls is essentially rewriting the rules by using a GoFundMe financed operation, again, a technology page to GoFundMe. He got enough money to essentially create the ALU, which is essentially a union that will actually be propagated throughout Amazon as another union for workers. So on Friday, Amazon issued a brief statement expressing disappointment in the outcome of the Staten Island election. The company said that it's evaluating its option and may file objections based on activities it witnessed in the election itself. Mike, my big question is, does this change other technology companies now that you have one that has been unionized?
Well, we had this discussion about whether or not this would. I think this is probably going to be echoed in other companies.
Okay.
I don't think it has anything to do whether we identify them as tech companies or not, because we talked about whether Amazon is a tech company.
We did last night at our production meeting, right? We talked about it pretty in length. Is it a delivery company? Is it a resource company? Is it a technology company? They have so many different branches of what they have
it's
itself.
A delivery of service company.
Okay.
Right?
Well, they have a bunch of Amazon servers that they have cloud stuff.
Yeah, I know, but that's using technology in order to get their products out. It's not using their technology to, create cars that are, like Tesla, or, it's not based on.
Is Microsoft
like
next?
Facebook.
How about Facebook? How about Google?
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
Is this Pandora's box opening?
This always leads to other things.
Okay.
So we'll see how this affects, and you can see even today in today's world, how people respond to these types of situations where the management is posting signs that say "Vote No" on.
That's what they did. There's a whole bunch.
They're trying to union bust it. We're not beating each other up in the streets anymore, but we're still doing all these things to stop this from happening.
Now, guess what, Mike? If you want to find out more about our stories, because we just covered the top of the stories, guess where you can go and take a look at them? At techtimeradio.com. All you got to do is click on the episode section or the blogs, and it will get a detailed link of where we grab our story information from, because we don't make up the news. We report the news on these top 5 stories in the first 5 minutes. So you can click on all the links and find out even more details regarding each of these.
Yep.
Well, now it's time to get ready for our whiskey tasting during the break. But up next, we have our technology insider that's going to be talking about digital footprints. What is a digital footprint? And how big is your footprint of information about you on the internet? You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Mike Odie and myself, Nathan Mumm. We'll see you after this commercial break.
Hey, Mike,
What?
have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost, again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size that's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on Tech Time Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry, that's ELDERBERRY-boost.com, and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you ready to launch your new career in coding? Treehouse has one of the best and most affordable online classrooms for you. At Treehouse, we've rethought the learning process and built a proven system to get you the skills and knowledge you need to achieve your goals. When you're done with the course, you haven't just watched a video, you've learned, practiced, and absorbed the key concepts. Choose to build a portfolio, create a network, and land your dream job with the boot camp style tech degree program. Land a dev job this year. Treehouse, teamtreehouse.com. Learn to code, design, and more, all on your own time. Enroll today. Classes range anywhere from 2 months to 9 months for completion. Whatever your goal is, we'll get you there. Start your 7-day free trial today by visiting teamtreehouse.com. Again, that's team, T-E-A-M, treehouse, Treehouse.com. And make sure to tell them Nathan sent you. Well, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by Nathan Mumm and Mike Roday. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break. And now let me tell you all about our sipping of our pick of the day. During the show, we have chosen today to do Penelope Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 80 proof, $35. Penelope Bourbon was created in 2018 by lifelong friends. Penelope Bourbon is their signature 4-grain straight bourbon whiskey, uniquely blended from 3 bourbon mash bills. Each barrel is hand-selected and blended into a single batch for your enjoyment. The remarkable, smooth, and flavorful taste is perfect for someone looking to try a bourbon for the first time. Yeah?
Do you mind if I interrupt you a bit?
Oh, hey. Well, welcome. We have in studios today Mark Gregoire, a part of our Mark Mumble
Mark
segments.
Mumbles.
That's right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay, was I reading that right? Because you normally help me produce this stuff. Is that correct or
You
not?
did good. I was just a little worried about when you get to the next section.
Okay.
I'll help you out here.
Okay, well, help us explain that.
Well, because Penelope, it's a little different than a lot of the other bourbons that you've done.
Okay.
So the
the
company
cheap ones?
Yes.
Is this a better one? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that at this point
Okay,
yet. We
all
don't
right.
know. Thumbs up or thumbs down.
Okay.
But this is produced by Penelope Bourbon. They're the company that actually does the blending of the whiskey, but they don't actually produce or create the mash bill.
Oh, is that uniquely different?
No, there's a lot of companies that are starting to do that. They source it from a distiller. So they're sourced from MGP, which is probably the largest distiller that gives to third parties. They're based in Indiana.
Okay.
And this is a straight bourbon, and it's a minimum of 3 years old.
3 years old. Says they can be like 5 or 6 years old, and they just guarantee a minimum. Is that what the minimum aspect of that is?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. So when you stamp bourbon, it has to put the minimum on the bottle if you do an age statement. So that's
Okay.
why you see a lot of them that don't do age statements. They keep it a little bit of a mystery.
Uh-huh. Okay, there you go. Now, this is a 4-grain mash bill, which means, guess what?
What?
75% corn, 15% wheat, 7% rye, and 3% malted barley.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes it any better or not.
Well, it actually tastes like bourbon.
It does taste pretty good, though,
And
today, doesn't it?
not like the Canadian stuff you've been passing off as bourbon.
Okay.
Or later, there's a little controversy there.
There's a little
About
controversy.
being called a 4-grain.
Okay, what are we talking about that? Okay. All right, well, we're going to continue on perfectly. All right, we have next thing as we taste this. This is good tasting, though, right?
Yeah, I like the taste.
So, all right, so next we're going to move to Technology Insider, all right? So let's get ready to start our main segment of the show.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
All right, let's talk about your internet footprint. Let's explore ways to find out more about your unique footprint on the internet. So this is an interesting story. I spent a bunch of time on this. I even took your address and asked you for your address today so I could change something, but it was really for this segment that we're doing.
Is that what it was
It really
for?
is. But I'm going to change the other thing,
I'm
too.
glad to know that you're just,
I just asked you for your
identifying-
address. Yeah. I said I'm going to change the other one, too, but here's what we got.
Yeah, okay.
So a definition of a digital footprint is the data left behind whenever you use a digital service. Each time you go online or use a digital service, you leave a trail of information behind you. So your digital footprint refers to all the personal data and information available about you online. Today, your digital self includes your social media accounts, biometric identifiers, usernames, and passwords, all standard information. This is very interesting. Somebody, a question and answer when I was putting this together, said that they didn't realize when you go and you create a password for all these sites, they thought that there's like this cryptic place that keeps all of your personal passwords. No, every site that you go to, like Amazon, all these places, all have a database of your passwords. So if you are buying stuff on a reputable site, let's say Amazon or one of these larger conglomerates that you know and you kind of trust, you're safe. But if you find something really cool and you buy it on a kind of a sketchy website, they could be using that password and reselling it. They don't have to keep that secure. So there's a lot of misinformation on what people think your password is on a website. So any website that you sign up for, you should make a password that if it gets breached, it's not the same password for any other site you use. All right, so let's take a look at this. Today, your digital self includes, of course, your social media accounts, all of your identifiers, usernames, and passwords. But other creepy part is that most likely your smartphone records the location and data of your daily life and totes it all the way back and reports it back to Apple or Google. So, do you have a Google phone, Mike?
I don't have a Google.
You don't. Do you have a Samsung phone
I have a Samsung.
that runs a Google OS on that Android?
Yes.
So all that information goes back to Google. Does anybody have an Apple phone? I do. I got both phones, right? So all you're doing is you're passing that information back and forth, and they take snapshots anywhere up to every minute of where you're at and what you're doing at the time of the location and what you're searching for on your phone. So let's say we go into Applebee's after the show, which we normally do for a little debrief, right? So we go in there, and all of a sudden we start looking up something with sports related. It knows, and it can create an algorithm that I like sports at Applebee's. And when I go into Applebee's, it can then try to trigger specific ads while I'm in there.
Yeah.
That is your digital footprint at work.
Shouldn't it be called a digital scat?
It could be. So have you ever done a Yelp review about like a pizza parlor or something like that?
Yep.
Okay, guess what? All of that information has been posted and has been collected because those Yelp reviews have been compromised. And they also then resell your data. So anything on Yelp that you put on at any time can be resold for data. So if you talked about something positive about a restaurant or something you took a look at, guess what? They now know that you have a trigger for pizza or something like this at a certain time at a certain place when your phone checks into that area. Have you ever gone to a local newspaper website and become a part of your digital profile by commenting on stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
This sounds just like Netflix, where you watch certain movies and then suddenly you're getting all these movies about things you might like to watch.
That's exactly what is happening. And with with COVID, guess what? We decided to use the computers more and more than anybody has ever used them before in the world to date. The 2 years for COVID that we were down, being isolated, we would buy stuff and search and search and search. And now there are 540 data brokers operating in the U.S. What is a data broker?
Well, that would be somebody who sells data.
That's all they do. They take data from all these sites, put it together with an algorithm, and then resell it to anybody that wants to purchase those items itself. There are just 540 currently being maintained in California and Vermont, and the rest of the area they didn't even do a survey for. So there's probably, they're thinking, over 1,000 registered data broker operating systems in the United States itself. Now, as a result, personal identification information for individuals during this COVID time jumped 150% over these last 2 years alone. All identity and digital identity is at this point, says Eva Vasquez, the president and CEO of Identity Theft Resource Center, a nonprofit group that helps victims to identify identity theft. Do you pay for an identity theft program to keep you safe?
I'm not going to answer that on the air.
Okay, well, you know what? I pay for one, and I probably shouldn't be, because most of those identity theft programs just use one master database when a breach happens to get the data to alert you that your security is taken care of. So they're not even really taking care of your identity. They're just being notified of when there's a breach and sending you out electronic email. But if you really wanted a true center that could help you with identity, there's a nonprofit. If you go to idtheftcenter.org, or you can call them at 888-400-5530. Again, that's 888-400-5530. They actually have a free service that is way better than any of the paid services in the United States itself. Yes. So you do not have to pay to protect your data. You probably didn't know that, did you?
Yeah.
No, that's all right. So that's number one step.
Why would I know it? I'm a, just for the sake of argument, I'm a normal guy.
Yep.
Doing stuff that normal people do on the computer. I don't know about all these little back-end little alleyways that data can flow in.
But do you know there's 4 million plus users that pay for identity theft across the United States, and none of them do anything other than report your data.
Okay.
So you can essentially get that for free if you go to the idtheftcenter.org and sign up, and they'll send you the same exact.
They'll tell me who's selling my data.
Yep, and when your data's been breached for absolutely free.
Will they tell everybody that that on Fridays I like to buy?
It won't quite do that, no, because they're just keeping it your identity. So you know what? A lot of people pay for it. You can see commercials like LifeLock and Protect all these all over everywhere, and people are spending money for a service that you can get for free.
That's because they're businesses.
And they don't do their research.
And they market their business.
All right, so let me talk to you about something else. There are excellent tools on the internet. And one of these that I tried out specifically this week is called DeleteMe.com. Okay?
That seems a little...
So DeleteMe.com, how much does it cost, you
That
ask,
seems a
right?
little existential to me.
All right, how much does it cost? The online search price is only $1 with a minimum of $20 purchases on PayPal. So this service is very interesting. Mm-hmm. Essentially, the system is a pay-as-you-go. It's not a monthly subscription. We're not getting any royalty from any of these companies we're talking about. We're just talking about tools that work well. But you can buy online credits to do a search, and essentially what DeleteMe.com does is it finds out all the information that's available for you, and you can actually highlight information, let's say like your LinkedIn profile or all these others, and you can click the button Delete Me. It will get with one of their contact support individuals, and they'll actually go through the process of deleting that account and information that's out there for you.
Okay.
So
is that real?
Well, it is real because let me tell you.
I mean, because I can delete my own LinkedIn.
So you can, and absolutely, but sometimes people don't know all the accounts they have taken care of. So I ran a report on me at DeleteMe.com, and it had over 300 data brokers had data on me. Mm-hmm. I was a little disappointed. I thought I'd have a little bit higher than that. So that was a little.
You're the only person that I know of that'd be like, darn it. I wish my information being sold to more people.
That's exactly what I did say. So it was harvested, but it had personal tidbits about me. The data included my name, home address from my childhood to my current residency, emails and phone numbers, and information about my shopping habits and purchase history online. Mm-hmm. Wow. I like arcade items, technology gadgets, and board games.
No way.
I do. And every Kickstarter campaign that I've ever funded was also listed on there. Yeah. I wish that they list it quicker than I ever get any of the products from Kickstarter. But essentially, so they knew every single thing that I backed and tracked, and wasn't really a surprise to me. But I then compared it to another service that I have available to me, which is called the dark web. So for about $30 in Bitcoin, I did the same comparison type of search. Now, let me tell you that the Bitcoin search, you have to load your VPN, you have to load your Tor browser, and for $30, I got way more information of data sources, way more items that I had available in a lot more detail, specific with usernames, with passwords, with logins, with verified accounts. Much better.
So the question then is, why bother?
Well, see, most people shouldn't spend the time to go on the dark web to spend $30 on Bitcoin to do a profile search of somebody. But if you do that on, let's say, Mike Corday, there's lots of information that comes on up also about you, about where you've been, past bills that you've had, past jobs of employment. We've talked about some of those on here. So it was very interesting. When I run the same report on the, deleteme.com, it's a limited subset for you. This says it was a limited subset to me, but there was enough data in there that this is a great alternative, not knowing how to search on the dark web to find your information.
But if I use Delete Me, I'm only going to, and let's just say for the sake of argument that I hate this idea that people know what I've done all my life, and I go to deleteme.com and they delete everything that I have on them.
Okay.
Does that really impact my dark web information?
It would not, because your dark web information is still going to stay out there and still be available, because they don't ever want to get rid of that at all, right?
Yeah, right.
So let me ask you this. Are you concerned about your internet footprint?
I am now.
Are you? I'll ask Mr. Gregoire. Are you concerned about your internet footprint?
I've never really been concerned about it until more recently.
Okay.
Because now with hacks and people cross-referencing everything, they can start grabbing your information and pretending to be you. And, when you get into that kind of information, bank accounts, as you guys talked about before, and trying to pretend to be you, that becomes a little more scary. Just to know where I've been or what I like or where I live, I don't care on that.
So here's my philosophy on this.
Well, okay, let's.
If you just keep on putting more and more and more information out there, and you flood your information, then how are they going to know what's true and what's not true?
Well, that's sort of one of my points.
Okay.
Because, as a writer, I'm always doing research on all kinds of different topics. So I'm Googling all kinds of crazy things.
Yep.
So my information out there must be like, this guy's a complete nutbag.
It's got some psychology stuff and maybe like a psychopath type of profile.
Well, no, I mean,
that probably is if you look at all your search.
If you conglomerate everything that I do, is that really a true picture of me and whatever they can do with my data?
Well, yes,
but it's the same thing as me. Like logging in, looking up something on Google, like a screwdriver, or let's see, what was I looking at? The furnaces.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm getting ads all over Facebook about furnace companies. And
yep.
Like, okay, just leave me alone.
Just leave you alone.
It's like Minority Report, where he's running through trying to get away from the cops, and everybody, all these little holograms come up. They selling them everything and identifying them by name and.
Yep.
Hi, John.
That's the positive side, or the annoying side, however you want to look at it. That's the Netflix result. But then you have the dark side, where now they're taking that information and using it for nefarious reasons. So
do you know fraud is at an all-time high?
Well,
cyber fraud is. The Federal Trade Commission reported 1.4 million cases of identity theft just last year.
Here, one of the problems that we have here is that this is a problem that nobody can solve, and it's not going to go away. We aren't going to go back and stop using this stuff.
Correct.
So unless everybody's willing to become a Luddite and stop using all this stuff, all these things are going to be out there. We can't do anything about it. And it's obvious that governments and businesses cannot keep things from being hacked.
Correct. Everything's going to get out there. So be mindful about what you're doing on the internet.
Be mindful, but at the end of the day, if all this information is out there, billions and billions and billions of bits of information on each people across the planet.
Yep.
How are they going to sift through that?
Yeah, that's my key. That's my key. So here,
find a particular detail.
For Mike's mesmerizing moment, I want you to explain to me why some people think like identity stuff, they don't want to be anywhere on the internet. They don't want anything. They are so hyper paranoid about anything being out there about them at all. And why are there other people like myself where I could care less? What's the difference between people on how they make that decision. I want you to think about that for Mike's Mesmerizer moment. Can you do that for me?
I'll think about it. I don't know if I'll answer it.
Okay, that's good. All right. Well, that ends our segment, Technology Insider. When we return, we have This Week in Technology.
You get that?
Yeah, I did get that.
Good job.
See you right after the break.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah, what's happening?
have you heard of Foul Play, a true crime podcast?
No, Nathan.
Hey guys, let me tell you a little bit about Foul Play.
Whose voice is that, Mike?
I think that's Mark Mumbles.
Foul Play is one of the oldest true crime podcasts. Murder, mystery, serial killers, oh my. Let us take you on a journey to discover some of the most unbelievable minds of the most wicked monsters imaginable. We might even solve a few cold cases again. Now, it's hosted by crime journalist Shane L. Waters, Netflix The Keeper star Gemma Hoskins, and crime writer Wendy C. It's foulplay.com.
Thanks, Mark. I'll play a true crime podcast.
And you can find that on any of your standard podcast services. Just search for Foul Play, a true crime podcast.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TECHTIME. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, do you ever feel tired, have a headache, or maybe a little bit under dehydrated?
Yeah, I get told that I need to hydrate more often.
Guess what, Mike? I have a solution for you.
What is it?
Hydronique Hydration. The electrolyte power drink packets are available for you now. Started in the midst of the pandemic, the founder of Hydronique Hydration, a frontline healthcare worker, started developing constant headaches. Do you know that most powdered drinks on the market have tons of sugar and caffeine, especially those Rockstar and Gatorade substitutes?
Yeah, like you drink.
So I'm going to need to change.
So what did the founder do?
Well, that's why he created Hydronique Hydration, sugar-free, keto-friendly, plant-based, antioxidant-rich, electrolyte powdered packets for daily use, containing all the essential vitamins and minerals with a refreshing taste. Their product contains elderberry, which has immune-boosting properties for supporting during cold and flu season. Hydronique Hydration electrolyte powder packets can also fit in your bag or suitcase when traveling. Your busy days in 2022 can change. Do you want a sugar-free, keto-friendly vitamin drink to give you hydration boosts? If so, give Hydronique Hydration a try. You can visit the website at www.hydroniquehydration. It's www.hydronique hydration.com. That's the word hydration and unique mashed together. Or you can search for Hydronique Hydration on Amazon.com or on their own website at hydroniquehydration.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
Today, we're looking back at April 3rd, 1973, the first cell phone call. Martin Cooper, considered the father of the cell phone technology, makes the first cell phone call on a New York street side.
Did he use a brick?
He did. Well, it was a pretty big phone. That is correct. Martin Cooper's first job was at Teletype Corporation in Chicago in 1954, and he joined a company called Motorola, Inc. as a senior development engineer in the mobile equipment group. He developed many cellular devices, including the first cellular-like portable handheld police radio system, produced for the Chicago Police Department in 1967. By the early 1970s, Cooper's head of Motorola's communication system division said that he had conceived the first portable cellular phone in 1973 and showed proof of the concept that led to 10 years of process to bring it to market. Although it stated that Cooper's visions for the device was inspired by Captain James T. Kirk using the communicator on the television show Star Trek, Cooper himself later said that his actual inspiration was Dick Tracy's wrist radio watch in the comic books that shaped the idea for the cellular phone we know today.
His inspiration should have come from Nikola Tesla, who envisioned all this stuff.
Before that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, that's This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history? Well, with over 2 years of videos, you can visit techtimeradio.com to To watch our older shows, sign up for our newsletter, which will not be coming out by MailChimp, and subscribe to the best technical information that you can be a part of our Tech Timers Facebook group to talk about all of these items live. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have a fan favorite. They're going to be doing a 2 Truths and a Lie, so we'll see you after this break.
Hey, Mike, did you know that Unidragon puzzles are a great relaxation?
Yes, I did.
The 21st century widespread digitalization pushes people to have gadget-free rest. In this case, puzzles become a convenient and actual way of having rest.
Yeah, they're a great way to relax. They give your brain a reboot.
Is make sure that you visit unidragon.com with the discount code for 10% off with the code TIME10. That's TIME, the number 10, for all of our Tech Time fans across the nation. Do you know that puzzles are relatively simple tools that solve a complex range of problems? In game form, we learn useful analytical and communicative skills that will find the application in work, study, and other spheres of life.
Yeah, they are great forms of relaxation and revitalization.
Do you know that Unidragon's collections now have dinosaurs?
Oh, that's one of my favorite things.
You got to make sure you keep the promo code. It's TIME10 because all of our audience across the nation can use TIME10 to receive a 10% discount at Unidragon. That's unidragon.com. Don't be fooled by other imitation puzzle makers. Visit unidragon.com, the only spot for your true thinking puzzles.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. I'm your host, the technology expert, with my human solution consultant here, my Lie to Me expert, Mike Corday, and we have in studio today our Mark's Mumbles. Mark Gregoire is in here to be talking about our whiskey. Now, how's your whiskey tasting? Is it tasting pretty good?
I like it.
You like it? Well, don't say if it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. This is the Penelope Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, this is normally when I read the Mark's Mumble segment, and then I normally butcher something or I do something. So Mark is here today.
He's going to mumble it.
He's going to mumble it live in studio. So tell us a little bit about this Penelope Straight Bourbon here, Mark.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, it's a 4-grain mash bill, 75% corn, 15 wheat, 7% rye, and 3 malted barley. But it's actually a blend of 3 different bourbons coming together, and each one of those blends is only 3 grains. So the way they get the 4 grains is not a natural 4-grain, where you make this bourbon using 4 grains in your mash bill. It's actually taking different bourbons with different grains and blending them together. So it causes a division in the whiskey community. Is it a true 4-grain, or is it not?
Oh, boy, I bet you those whiskey connoisseurs, this is... You know what?
It's not me. I don't care.
It's not you. No.
If it tastes good, that's great. If it doesn't,
that's how you go. Okay. Well, that's interesting to know. And this is made by there's a bunch of startup whiskey places. Is Penelope kind of a startup whiskey place?
They're fairly young. As you mentioned, 2 friends back in 2018 that started it up. They're doing a great job. So in terms of the controversy, I don't care either way because they say it on the label. And that's the big thing. If you're going to do something, you put it on the label. They're very straightforward. 2 great guys, and they're doing some great products out there.
All right. Well, I wonder if we're going to give it a thumbs up or not.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
There's some suspense here.
All right. Not really. Okay. We're going to get right on to our next segment. This is very interesting. So can we cue up our next segment now? Odie.
And now we have 2 truths and a lie.
All right. 2 truths and a lie is essentially I have articles here, and 2 of these articles, so everybody's on, Odie, you're on this, Mark, you're on this, and Mike, you're on this. Let's see if you get it. 2 of these articles are famous April Fool's jokes, and those are the truth. One of these articles is not an April Fool's joke, but is actually hang on. Yeah.
Are you serious? So you got 2 lies that are true.
No.
And then you got a truth that is a lie.
Well, so we're doing a little bit. I did some research, and so the 2 articles that are the famous April Fool's jokes are the truth, and you need to find the lying article, which is actually truthful.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well, here's what you got.
Okay.
All right.
I'm with you, Mike, on this.
All right, story number 1. Lenovo Think Reality Smart Glasses. When you sit down at your desk, sometimes 2 or 3 monitors are not enough. Instead of turning on a monitor or opening your laptop, you can now don a pair of Lenovo's Think Reality Smart Glasses Instead, connect the glasses to a computer or smartphone, and a high-definition display comes to your lenses. So you can have 5 different virtual desktops. As you move your head to view the different desktops floating in front of you, you can continue multitasking between Excel and Word documents or a round of solitaire. That is article number 1.
Okay.
Lenovo's Think Reality Smart Glasses.
Okay.
Story number 2, Virgin Volcanic. Sir Richard Branson has launched a Virginia Volcanic, which promises to get people to the center of the Earth and back via the nearest volcano.
Okay.
Essentially, only 500 people have been to space, and only 3 people have been to the bottom of the ocean. But now you have an attempt to go to the center of the molten Earth and the new VVS-1, which is capable of plunging up to 3 people into the molten lava core of an active volcano. Volcano. Interested parties are encouraged to sign up online at virginvolcanicflight.com.
Oh, my God.
Story number 3, emoji numbers or license plates. Honda showed off the world's first emoji license plate at the 2022 CES show in Las Vegas. But what people thought was a tongue-in-cheek license plate is actually the real deal. Soon you'll be able to express more than the numbers and letters that license plate agencies could offer. The premier number plates, sometimes called vanity plates, have over 20 emoji items to choose from, including the crying yellow face, happy yellow face, heart, race flag, phone, thumbs up, and more. The Honda Civic Type R was shown with a number of license plates, and it is working with the UK's Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency over plans to have its emoji plates on the road by 2024.
Okay. So out of these 3,
2 of them are April Fool's jokes.
You want me to identify the ones that are fake or the one that is true?
The one that is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
the one that is true, but
The
essentially
real
because
story.
the other ones are April Fool's jokes.
yeah. Okay. So I think the April Fool's jokes
Yep.
are the Captain Volcano one
Okay.
and the emoji license plate.
That's what
That's
you're
what
thinking?
that's what I think.
Okay. So you're saying you
I think the
So you think
the Lenovo
smart glass is
Smart
real.
Glass is the
The real one?
most sane of those 3.
All right, Odie. Okay, what do you think?
Oh, I think the Lenovo and the center of the Earth one are the fake ones.
Okay, you think the emoji license plate is
Yeah.
real? Okay. All right, Mr. Gregoire, it's to you.
I'm going to go with your engineer.
We're going to go with my engineer. Are you going to think the emoji license plates are real?
Yeah.
Well, the emoji license plates is this year's April Fool's joke. That is incorrect. And yes, there is not a device that can travel to the center of the Earth through a volcano. That is correct. That is also an April Fool's joke.
Darn it.
And the only
That
true
was the,
thing
that was the funnest one.
is the Lenovo. So there we go. All right, that ends our segment. We are now going to move immediately into Mike's mesmerizing moment. This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
All right. So we talked a little bit about this whole idea of having all this information.
Yep.
And your question was?
Why is it that, like, for me, I don't care that my information's out there, but other people take it to the nth degree and they're so concerned about it?
This is, again, these are very complicated questions.
Okay.
So a simple answer that any simple answer I give is not going to really encapsulate everything. But as far as human beings are concerned, we're all about survival.
Okay.
And things that trip our survival network can create these systems of belief, right?
Okay.
So you're somebody who works in the tech field. You're used to the tech. It's something you're familiar with, and familiarity breeds comfort.
Okay.
Unfamiliarity automatically breeds fear. So somebody who is not a tech person, like myself, we tend to be more risk adverse because we don't understand it and we don't want it. Okay. And there's a vulnerability there. It's like, do you pull your curtains at night when you walk around naked? Or
Yes.
if you walk around naked.
That's another whole
we
subject
don't
we're
need
going to have to talk about.
that.
That's right.
But it's just sort of the same idea. You don't want to be vulnerable, and these are things that make us. Uncertainty is a creation of fear.
That's a
in
great
human beings.
That's a great Mike's mesmerizing moment. All right, here we go. Pick our day. Penelope, straight bourbon whiskey. Everybody, I got a thumbs up for
Thumbs
myself.
up.
Odie says thumbs up.
Odie's got a thumbs
What do you
up.
say,
I
Mike?
got a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. What do you think, Mr. Gregoire?
It's not bad. I wouldn't reach for it on my shelf. Thumbs down.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. He's a whiskey snob. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We always do the best we can to entertain you and give you technology. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.
KCAA.